Hello everybody, this is Havoc. Welcome to another Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD battle here. This is, of course, the Total Overhaul mod for Total War. Attila bringing it into the medieval era. Today we're playing something a little different than what I usually do, and what I think a lot of people have usually done. I think Indie Pride, who's also known as Milk and Cookies Total War, I think he's played a couple of these types of battles. This is going to be more of a skirmish more than anything. This is not a heavily pitched, men-at-arms and, super heavy knights against each other. This is really kind of a light group with a lot of cav. I will emphasize a lot of cavalry, and I'm going to stop moving so much. And so, it's going to be a little style different. This is played in the Forest of Gaul map, by the way. This is a very nice map. I've showcased it one or two more times. And I really love it. It's a really sweet looking map. So let's get down to the units and their factions, and we will get this battle started. Today I am playing as the Ayyubid Sultanate. I do believe that's who they are. So they are, of course, the standard Islamic faction. If you want to give it a standard, if you want the Islamic faction in a game in this mod, this is definitely the way to go. They have a lot of really good, unique units for this battle. And then we are also playing against the Kingdom of Georgia. So we're going to start over here, obviously. So my line of infantry really only contains 3 units. We have 2 units of June Swordsmen and 1 unit of Mamluk Tabardaria. There we go. I butchered it. I know I did, but that's alright. So we got some medium melee infantry all across the board. These guys are axemen, so they're a little bit different. I mean, look at the designs on those axes. I mean, that is incredible. Just the detail of he looks bored. Oh, well, shoot. I think that's pretty much what he's like. Oh, these guys are all peering up. It's a little creepy. Anyways, behind them, we have 4 units. 4? Yes. 4 units of Ghulam Foot Guard. These guys are pretty epic bowmen. They will do a lot of heavy damage, and since they're armored, they will do very well in melee combat. Over here, on my left side, I have 3 units of Bedouin Camel Riders. I have never used the Camel Riders before this game. They're not too bad, to be completely honest. If you have some extra cash and you want some decent units, go ahead and use those in a battle. Also in the middle we have a couple of units of Askari Nobles. These are going to be some heavy shot cav. In front of the general, I guess he's not the general. Where's the general? He's over here behind the general. We have 3 units of Ajnad cav. These are going to be some medium melee. I don't know why the camera's shaking around them. They're not doing anything at the moment. Maybe since they're automatically going to run. And then behind them we have 4 units of Senior Ghulam. Now, I do like to make games fair. And Senior Ghulam, they are very overpowered. Not overpowered, that's the wrong word. They are very, very powerful bow cav. Their speed isn't the best, but their damage certainly will cause some havoc and cause a little bit of panic in the troops. So I usually only stick with 4 units of something that's super, super heavy. Unless it's a specific scenario in which I am playing. Then it gets a little, a little grayer. But let's head over to the Kingdom of Georgia, and then we'll get the battle on the roll. So these guys, if you want a Eastern European country or kingdom that you want to use, or if you just simply want a good skirmisher faction, I really think the Kingdom of Georgia fits the bill. They have a lot of bow cav, not a lot. They have bow cav, which is unique in of itself. Not a whole lot of factions have that. They have some pretty fast cav. The Tazruli are very good. They also have some Naspa foot archers. Those are basically the Kingdom of Georgia's equivalent of the. Are these Manasta foot guard? No, these are Ghulam. Also, by the way, completely forgot. Sultan's bodyguard. Pretty sweet guys. Okay. Okay, so those were different. Those were Ghulam. These are Manaspa foot guard archers, and they do, like I said, they're equivalent to the Ghulam foot guards on the other side of the field. So they have 5 units of Manaspa foot archers. They have 3 units of Asnari horse archers. They have a mixed units, I can't remember exact number, of both Tazruli and Manaspa Lancers. Those guys are going to be pretty good as well. I do like the shields. It's a very, very gorgeous mod. I love this mod. I very much do. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then they have a mix of Tazruli Swordsmen and then Metzahofna Spearmen. And finally, last but not least, their general is, of course, a Manaspa Guard. Now, this Manaspa Guard is unique in this general because it is a archer. It is a bow cav unit, so we'll see how that works in or not in their favor. Oh, excuse me, guys. Alright, and another reason why I call this a skirmish border clash battle is, look at that, 9 minutes and 17 seconds. That's a Warhammer battle, ladies and gentlemen. That's a Warhammer style battle, but with the Medieval Kingdoms mod. So let's go ahead and get started right off the bat. So immediately, what we're going to do is we're going to move some troops over here to this hill. This hill is pretty strategic in that it's pretty steep on one end, so if you're wanting to secure this hill, I recommend you do it right away, and then you have a nice little gap here that you can try to draw in some troops. Kingdom of Georgia is going to send some Asnari horse archers. That's a pretty smart move, just basically as a recon unit, just to see what's going on in the world. We're going to send some of our camel riders. We got our camel riders and our Ascari nobles. They're going to kind of intimidate these horse archers. These guys are obviously going to go right up into here. We're going to try and see if there's anyone who sneaks that we didn't see, or maybe just set up some potential strategic areas. The Senior Gulam, they're going to move in over here. The heavy bow cav, these are, like I said, there's some pretty extensively heavy bow cav. And of course he's going to retreat his horse archers. What's really unique, the AI moved a little funky in this game for me. He didn't make some smart moves, which I've seen the AI make some decently smart moves. This was not a case, so he's going to send all of his cav forward, which, to be honest, is actually a pretty smart move for this instance. Man, everything bodily that could go wrong is going wrong for this battle. They're going to intimidate me by forcing all of their cav in through this river crossing. I'm going to move forward to take out some of these horse archers, and you're going to see this volley. They're going to launch a volley, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And then we're going to launch ours back, and we just decimate them. I mean, oh, look at that. Look at that. So they're going to intimidate us with their Manaspa Lancers. These guys are automatically set to skirmish, but if you'll take a notice, their speed is 88. These guys, the Asnari Horse Archers, their speed's 125. The Manaspa Horse Lancers, their speed is 100. So they're going to get caught up, but the good thing is Senior Gulam are very good in melee as well. So they're going to be able to hold out a pretty good while longer. Here we go. So we're just going to kind of skirmish with them, but as you see, they engaged almost every single piece of their cav right from the get-go, and I don't really think that's a personally, I don't think that's a very smart move. And also, the biggest downfall that they did is they sent a unit of Manaspa foot archers out, as well as both of their Metzahofna spearmen. These guys are not going to fare well out in the open, especially with 4 units of Senior Gulam and other units of cav that are going to be able to skirmish them. Now, I brought my camel riders. Now, mind you, I've never used these guys in battle before. I don't know exactly what they're good for. They're medium melee, but they seem to rout pretty easily. And so I don't feel like they're the best unit. Like I said, if you have some extra cash, they're a pretty good unit to get. So as you can see, our Senior Gulam are just getting caught everywhere. They're getting caught at this river crossing. They're not getting caught here, which is good because we're hacking down their spearmen. But they're caught over here, and I think they'll actually fare pretty decent. We sent our camel riders in until we realized that their spearmen were going to be here. Then we kind of pulled out. Now this is another interesting front that really helped define the battle here. So we're going to set up this line. You know, they have, what, 3 units of infantry, of foot soldiers over here, but they also have their Manaspa Guard, and they have 2 units of foot archers. My archers are falling behind. I deployed them late Over here on this flank, I also have my... These guys don't see much in the way of battle from the beginning. I set them over here in the hopes that these guys would draw them in, but that's not going to happen, so you just saw them. I pulled them back, and we're going to try and engage them throughout the rest of the battlefield. Now over here, I sent my Askari nobles to help take out the Tazruli and those Anari horse riders, or horse archers. They're going to do a pretty good job of that. Now here's where I made my mistake. I brought my Gulam foot guard, right? So they're going to do pretty good. The only issue is they're hacking down their own troops. I set them to attack units that were just flat out too close. And as a result, they got nailed in the back. As you can see here, a couple more guys are going to die. Yep. So what do? I'm going to set them to start hacking down the foot archers. If we can take out their foot archers, then we will have a very strategic advantage. Over here, we routed those cav. We are surviving over here. Like I said, these senior Gulam, man, they can decimate. They can hold their own. I mean, they're tier 3 heavy bow cav. So it makes sense that they will be able to hold out pretty well. Alright, so as you can see, I'm going to bring my camel riders in. I mean, they're not really useful at this point in time to me. I can't take out those spearmen, so it makes sense to try and see if I can take out these units as much as possible. We're hacking down the spearmen, and finally I use my Ajnad cav. They're going to come in and work on those Manaspa foot archers. The infantry have engaged. These look sweet. I mean, this is a pretty sweet looking little set. If we can get another volley off, I really want to get a good... Oh, he died. Here come the cav. I did send my cav in. Saw the strategic advantage of a hammered anvil opportunity and took advantage of it 100%. So they were doing good until that happened. Our camel riders, they broke because their morale's pretty low. And so they're just going to pursue us over there, and that's going to cause a little bit of a trouble. But we were able to route these Tazruli, so we're going to be able to use those guys again. And again, we're just hacking at these spearmen. You know, it's not a smart move to leave spearmen so far out in the open. And another thing, like, bring your Manaska guard out, man. I know you're AI, but seriously, bring your general away from fire, because, watch this. This is an epic snipe. We're going to half-time it. We're going to half-time it. He's going to... This is like the most random arrow that comes out of nowhere. Right there. You see that arrow? See that arrow? Oh, he got sniped. That was incredible. An absolutely epic shot by whoever did that over there. He deserves a medal because he freaking just sniped the crap out of him. So as you see, that's going to cause some major morale debuffs to the enemy. We're going to move forward with our foot guard. I am confident in putting them out in the open without support because they're heavy bow cav, or heavy bow cav. They're heavy bow infantry, and they're able to hold their own in melee. So if they get caught in melee, it's not a big deal. But yeah, that that dead general's really going to put the pressure on these guys. They're not going to hold out for very long. You're certainly not going to hold out against 4 units of Gulam foot archers. Now I did bring my infantry in time just because, but as you can see, these guys are just going to get wrecked. This is going to be a slaughterhouse. 4 units of horse archers just pounding on these guys. They're going to try and mount an offense, but it's just not going to work. And then the same thing over here. I'm bringing my senior Gulam heavy bow cav. They're going to work on those horse archers, going to route those. And then the Metzakhofna spearmen, they're just not going to be able to handle it. It's just not going to happen. We routed those horse archers, those foot archers. We're working. It's surprising that this Ajnad cav were able to, I guess, those are Manaspa foot archers, those are heavy. But yeah, we're just going to, every volley's pretty much going to cause a rout across the board. And then, I mean, you're talking, what, 3 units got here? These guys, these poor guys. I feel bad for them, but I don't at the same time. They're exhausted. They're like, guys, We can't go anywhere. We might as well just die. Like, I'm like, oh, shoot, dude. I am tired. Yeah, you're dead. You're just like, screw this, one volley and they're out. And that will cause the rest of the units to rout. So we have definitely won the battle. We're going to end that replay and take a look at these units just real quick. So, we deployed, I mean, total, that's what? Just a little over 4,000 troops. We lost less than, a little over a third. They lost way more than half, probably about 2/3-ish. 3/4. I don't know. But anyways, over here, we did pretty darn good. We never got our Sultan's bodyguard engaged, which really doesn't hurt me too bad. Ghulam foot guard, of course they did really good. The senior Ghulams, of course they did really good. Our camel riders did not. I guess these aren't too bad. We get to get those foot archers at the end. The Ajnad Cab, they really didn't do a whole lot. And the Askari nobles, one did absolutely nothing pretty much, and the other did pretty darn well. Over here though, I mean, those spearmen, you left them out in the open. When you leave them out in the open, especially against a lot of infantry or a lot of bow infantry and cav, they're gonna get decimated. So they pretty much did nothing. The Tazruli swordsmen, they put up a good fight. Manaspa foot archers, they just didn't do all that well. Actually, they did, I guess. They did the best out of all those troops, except for that horse archer. But I mean, look at their general did pretty well. That snipe was just absolutely epic. So, guys, that will be the end of the battle. I do hope you kind of like that skirmish mode. If you do like that skirmish mode, leave it in the comments that you liked it. And I may start working with some of the other YouTubers and developing kind of a skirmish mode scenario where we just kind of have some light troops and some archers or something and we go at it. So if you did like this, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. Be on the lookout for more 1212 AD content. This is Havoc, and I'm out of here. Peace!